Hi, I'm Polly Poskin. I live in Harvard Park. I've lived in Harvard Park for 31 years. I've been a member of ICON since its inception, and I consider myself a huge fan of the city of Springfield. And I've been very active in helping, I think, the entire city to move forward in how we present ourselves to our residents and how we present ourselves to our tourists and the businesses and all of the people that we want to embrace Springfield as a wonderful place to live. One of the things that you've heard from Mark and Jill is that Icon is very dedicated to to being a leader in sort of making improvements for the city, and that we look at it holistically. We look at it as every ward has a lot of the needs that are Icon priorities. We happen to focus on issues like landlord registration, bulky item pickup. We were great proponents and are deeply grateful for the yard waste project that the city finally started, and so that we have this regularized pickup of yard waste in all of the wards. And I think everybody would have to agree that every ward, therefore the entire city of Springfield, benefits when we do citywide assessment, citywide evaluation, and citywide focus on keeping our city safe, beautiful, and a place where anybody would want to live. And as Jill said, so that we don't have to move to live in a better neighborhood. So, very recently, we've been focused on landlord registration, and we see that as a way to kind of maybe help address issues around affordable housing, maybe housing for people not traditionally sort of provided housing, like maybe the homeless. Maybe there's a way they can live in neighborhoods and maybe they can live in affordable housing and have the support and the encouragement that's needed to own a home, to live in a neighborhood, to be a good tenant, to be a good owner. And so landlord registration is really a tool to improve us as a city. It is not seen, as a way to single out landlords as sort of responsible for the housing conditions in our city. It's seen as a way to kind of create a blueprint, kind of create, an expectation, a standardization of what we want housing to look like. And yes, absolutely, that's going to probably be more prevalent in terms of housing in older neighborhoods where maybe there is more affordable housing, whether maybe there is aging housing structure, and that it needs the focus and it needs the expectation of the tenants and the neighbors who live around housing, that it will be maintained in accordance with our city ordinances. As Jill pointed out, we have ordinances on the books, that would create these kinds of improvements that we are looking for in both the housing stock in our communities and in all of our wards. And also then along with that, we look at the bulky item pickup. We have good garbage pickup in this city. I mean, we have haulers that have been doing this business for years, and they know how to pick up garbage. Our city is improving. I think it's in pickup of branches. It's only 4 times a year. We at Icon would love 6 times a year. But in all, there are sort of incremental changes that are happening that we think not only maybe focus on the older neighborhoods where maybe the need is greater, but that improves and that sort of shines a light on the entire city's commitment to being the kind of community that anybody would want to live anywhere within our wards and within our boundaries. So bulky item pickup is necessary because it's not just fly dumping. I might define fly dumping as anybody who puts anything in an alley that they haven't made arrangements for to be picked up. And sometimes that's homeowners, and sometimes it's tenants, and sometimes it's people, nefarious people who illegally fly dump. But the point is, the bulky items remain. The bulky items become habitats for mice, for rats, for fleas, for roaches, and that's unacceptable. That's a violation of our right to live in a clean, safe, healthy city. And it's not a huge project. I mean, this is a project that, yes, might take more effort from all of us who do have garbage pickup. We may be paying a little more. People who don't have garbage pickup, the expectation will be that they will have that. And they can also rest at ease that some of the bulky items that they don't know what to do with will be picked up, discarded appropriately, environmentally safely, and that indeed improves the alleys. If you're like me, When I was looking for a home, I drove the alleys, I drove the streets, I looked at where I wanted to live, and did it look clean? Did it look safe? Did it look like a navigable alley? Did it look like the street was a street I'd be glad for my family or my friends to come visit, park in, even if they had to drive the length of the street to find a parking place? So we at Icon, we're sometimes singled out, I think, maybe as being overly zealous about the improvements that we'd like to see, but we don't see ourselves that way. We see ourselves as deeply committed to the city of Springfield with a particular focus about where some of the gaps are, where some of the needs are that could help us improve, be uplifted, and be enjoyed, even to a greater extent, no matter where we go in the city, no matter where a tourist comes and drives in a city, and no matter where a business, might want to relocate. Where a landlord, a conscientious, person who wants to improve the housing stock in our city would sort of like to open and expand, his or her business. So Icon is about the city of Springfield. Icon is about all 10 wards. Icon needs the support of all 10 wards. Does it mean that there might have to be a focus where, the need is greater, where the cost might be a little bit more? Yes. But you know what? That's about prioritizing a city. That's about prioritizing we and us over I. And that's why I'm proud to be a member of ICON. That's why I don't hold back in sort of promoting the needs of the residents of our city and the ability of ICON to see to it that those needs are met. So thank you. Thank everybody out there. I know people watching care as much or more about any of us at ICON care about the city of Springfield. So let's come together. Let's look at, what we might be able to do as elected officials and as residents, tenants, and maybe even the community activists that point out the needs, because together we're a better city. Thanks.